Hey guys, Parfax here. Alright, I'm here to talk about Update 7. ZOS yesterday came out on their ESO Live, and they, dropped a bunch of news on us. Okay, let's get started. Alright, first comes first. This is the first thing they told us, is, yes, we are all going to have to level to VR 16. Okay. I have a problem with this. And this is why I have a problem with it. Okay? When games level up, it's actually a good thing. When someone goes from level 60 to 65 in games, it's actually fantastic. I know a few of my buddies. They were playing Final Fantasy. The reason why they decided they were going to do Final Fantasy is because they were upping the level cap. The reason why that's good is because that puts everybody on an even playing field. Well, unfortunately, this game kind of has another mechanic that doesn't allow you to do that, and that's the champion system. Okay. So no matter how high they raise this level cap, it's all about how many champion points you have. Because if I go against a VR 14 that has 20 champion points, which I will say is impossible, but a VR 14 with 20 champion points, and I don't know VR level I just said, but say VR 16, because hey, that's where they're raising it to. And I'm a VR 7 with 350 champion points. I'm still probably going to be more powered than him, as long as we can have the same gear. Now, having said that, you can craft gear that is just about as good as anything that you can find. So yeah, I can craft gear to make me more powerful than a VR 16. Okay, now I know a lot of you guys not necessarily aren't going to understand this, but you're gonna tell me things like, well, it's not that big of a deal, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's inflated content. And I actually stole that word from one of my good friends, Deltia. That's the word that he used for it, and that's exactly it. It's inflated content. It's content just put in the game to make us do it. And all the millions of gold that I have put into all of my gear, especially recently because I leveled up. In one of my guilds, we probably just legitimately had like 8 people. We got them to VR 14, 10 people to VR 14. Spent all their money, legitimately all their money, to upgrade their gear to yellow. We got them all the gear they needed. We farmed the gear, and now it's going to be useless. Another thing, with the last installment that they had, real content, came the 2-piece helms. They drop at VR 12. Okay, VR 12. So, I don't know of anybody that wants to be running with gear that is 4 levels too small. I mean, I understand you got to put content in the game, which, you have it in 1 year. But to just do inflated content in the same breath, let me mind you, that you said that I'm going to take, or you guys are going to take the content out. You said they're going to take VR levels out, but you're not really going to do it right now. Well, we're also going to put VR 16. Makes no sense. I understand you want to put new gear, okay? But if you look at games like Diablo, you don't have to raise the level to raise the gear. Why not put a bunch of different gear in there? Okay, at this point, you see what gear people are wearing. Spell damage for mages, weapon damage for stamina builds. It's that easy. Why not make unique sets for a sorcerer class? A Nightblade, Dragon Knight, Templar. Make things specific to them. Make it to where, like your master weapons, it has something. Let's say you have something that gives crystal frag for a sorcerer. It makes it hit 1,000 damage points harder. A Nightblade's ambush hits harder. A DK's whip hit Harbor. Why not stuff like that? It's still a gear chase. People are still going to do it, but then you don't add these extra inflated content. Having us level to VR16 is absolutely useless. We have the champion points. That is our progression. Okay? One, hate the champion system. I will say that. And I personally use it to my full advantage. It allows me to do things that doesn't allow a lot of people to do because I have a decent number of champion points. I don't have as many as some people. There's some people that have 800-900 champion points. I don't have that. I have a couple hundred. Okay? It allows me to make builds that I normally wouldn't be able to make. And it's awesome. But for the game, it's horrible. In a year down the road, when you have people that are coming close to maxing out their champion points, okay, and the majority of the game that's stuck around, which will by then be like 100 people, when you go into Cyrodiil, you're going to go in, and including myself, because I'm going to stick around with this game unless if the next patch fails, I'm done. Okay? But in a year, if everybody's still playing it like myself, you're going to have something new. Well, you know, they just came out with this really cool content for Elder Scrolls. I'm going to go try it. They're going to spend all this time to get into VR 28, because by the time that's what it's going to be. It's going to take them another year to get there. They're going to spend that time to get to VR 28 and get there and get wrecked by a heavy attack. We already have people that can heavy attack kill you in the game. I understand their build is like that. But it's going to get to the point where I can take out my staff and I'm going to be able to heavy attack kill all these people that don't have a whole lot of champion points. Okay, so making VR 16 means absolutely nothing. The only thing it means is it's going to force everybody to level. Okay, after that rant, I will say that they did lower the amount of experience you get by 15%. Yippee skippy. So now I need 850,000 per level instead of 1 million. Okay, not a bad change. Okay, sorry about that. I had a little bit of technical difficulties, but I'm back. Okay, so the next point is they did increase public dungeon experience. So when you go into a public dungeon, it's going to increase, the mobs are going to increase by 200%. So everything you get, all the mobs, if you'd get 100, it's going to go up to 300. Okay? This is going to be exploited the shit out of. People are going to exploit this to no end. Maybe this is their way of finally giving us a way to grind. But guess what, Zos? I don't want to grind. That is what we've been talking about. This is why so many of the community is upset. Okay? You can go on the forums right now, and one of my good friends, Deltia, had a great post about this specific thing. It's called Why ESO, or The Day ESO Died, I believe, and I'll put a link down in my chat. Okay, because him and I think almost exactly the same on just about everything. Okay, we love this game. I love this game. This is my favorite game I have ever played. There's nothing more I want out of this game than to be bigger than any MMO I have ever played. But I cannot sit here and tell you guys that I'm fine with this, that this is a good move, when it clearly is not. I am not the smartest guy on the earth. Definitely, by any means. But if there's one thing that I do understand, is I understand the way this game works. The guys that have been around here for a long time, like Cypher, Deltia, that kind of thing, we understand how this game works. So upping it to VR 16 is the exact opposite. Why? It's making it completely unplayable for anybody new. Completely. This game in a year will not have any new players. Okay, there are still people going to play WoW that have never played it before. With the last update they had, I know a few people that went and played it. I know a few people that went back and played it. Same thing with Final Fantasy. All these games people go back to play. It's the reason why they last so long. Okay, with the champion system, we're not going to last long. Okay? The only way you're going to last long is to have a catch-up system or seasons. Okay? This is something that I've talked about with a few members of the community, and everybody that I talk to loves this idea. Okay? Why not have a seasons for champion points? Have it up to, now we're almost up to 1,000. Say we'll cap it at 1,000, and you can only get those 1,000 for the next, we'll go 3 or 4 months. Okay? Flip it to 100 more champion points for, let's go, I don't know, however long period of time. Let's go a couple months. Let's go 2-3 months. Okay, in between patches. So you have 1,000. So next time it's gonna be 1,100. But everybody under 1,000, you get them 4 times faster. Okay, so then we go from 1,100 to 1,200, and everybody under 1,200 gets them 4 times faster. Okay, that's the way to balance the game out. That will work. I guarantee it. That is Parfax approved. No, that's just something I just made up right now. But you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. And this is going to be another one of those videos where I'm going to get, he's just ranting, screw you. Okay, well, I don't do this because I hate the game. I do this because I love the game. So, to make a quick recap and make sure I didn't miss anything, they're raising the cap to VR16, so all the gear that you have now is null and void. Okay, they are increasing experience in public dungeons by 200%. They're increasing experience in Craglorn by 20% everything, which I did not mention that, but that's a needed change. Craglorn had absolutely nothing. It's 20% or 50%, but I'm pretty sure it's 20%. VR ranks are going to be 15% quicker to get, so they're going to cost you 850. And I think that's... Oh, experiences are 50% more. So, quests. You get quests 50% faster. Or at least experience from them. If you get something that's 500 now, it's going to be 750 once the patch drops. Okay? I know a lot of you have probably tuned out by now, and you're going to go down and give me a negative comment down the bottom. I really don't care. Okay? At this point, I'm going to voice my opinion because I know it's what's best for the game. And the people in the community that have been here from day one, that do YouTube, that invest their time in the game in other ways than just playing the game, know I'm right on this. Let's get some other changes. So if you're with me still, which probably most of you aren't, but they changed it now. When you block, you won't regen any stamina. So if you're holding a shield up, you will not regen any of your stamina. Okay? I like this change. And it's specifically for PvP. They mentioned it and they said PvE, but I believe it's for PvP. Because right now you have guys that just sit there and block, and never let it down. Okay? Roll dodge will increase by 33% if you use it twice in a row. So basically, if you roll dodge, and then roll dodge within the next 4 seconds, it'll increase the roll dodge by 33%. And this is for those roll dodging Nightblades. It is going to screw some magic builds, but overall, I think it's a needed change, and I actually am all for that. Even though, you guys can watch, my favorite build to run in PvP is a Juki Nightblade. Now, I have revised it, and it is really, really good. Which maybe I'll make a video on that soon. But I probably won't do it until the new patch comes because everything's going to change anyway. Okay, so that's going to be a great change. Racial skills. They changed some racial skills. Nords are going to get an increase in health. They have 3% now. They're going to get more. I don't know how much it's going to be. But if it's not 10%, they're still bad. Alright, Argonians, they increase the passive that gives you resources back when you hit a potion. They're still going to be really bad. The Khajiits are going to get increase in crit rating. So, I think it's like 6% now. That's going to go up. They obviously have not learned that crit means nothing in this game. It's resources and weapon damage. So, yeah, they're still not going to be moved from the top of my worst race combo. And then What was the last one? Orc. Orc, the charge is 6%. You get, I believe it's 6% extra charge damage right now. It's going to be smaller than that, but it's going to go melee damage. That's going to make him a little bit better. It's not going to completely change it because, as you guys know, all those classes still have the robust passive. They didn't change the robust passive, so this doesn't matter. But at least they're changing something. I will give them that. At least they see it's a problem. They may have not... Nord may be really good after this. If they make it like 10 or 12%, they'll be good tanks. Okay? But if it's like 6%, it's not going to be worth it. And the other ones, the Orc won't be bad as well. The Orc, you might be able to do some nice DPS with them now. Because the Brawny passive, I love the Brawny passive. As much as I hate Orcs, the Brawny passive is really good. If they would take away the Robust for Nord and give them the Brawny passive, they would be up there with Imperials when it comes to tanking. And you'll be able to do some DPS with them too. I've been complaining about that, but... Okay, so that's the race changes. They're changing some skills for all the classes. They only named a few. Shadow Cloak will now, if you're hit by a single target ability, it won't take you out of Shadow Cloak, which is fantastic. Especially with the dodge roll nerf, this will give you an escape, which that's the reason why I'm as okay with the dodge roll increase, because of the cloak. Fantastic. They mentioned a few other abilities, but none. They're nerfing Streak again. But at this point with the champion system, it is a good change. But again, if you don't have many champion points, you're going to hate Streak. You're going to streak once every 4 seconds because you can't streak anything other. You're going to run out of magic. Okay. And here is the next very controversial thing. They talked about in ESO Live how they don't want people to be insta-killed. Okay? That people are just dying way too quickly. They followed it up by saying that the Battle Spirit Cyrodiil buff will reduce damage, healing, and damage shields by 50%. I don't understand this in the least bit. Okay. Understand what they're trying to do. But why? You literally, nerfed everything across the board by 50%. I don't know. I haven't heard one person that likes this change. It's going to make sorcerers magic sorcerers, not viable. Have you ever played a magic sorcerer with no shields? You don't, because you're dead. And I haven't talked to anybody that disagrees with me on this. Alright. That's most of the changes. They've made some other small changes, like, let's see, Stone Fist here. They're increasing the range on it to 28 meters, and it's going to have a heal, which I really like. Battle Roar, which is a great change for Dragon Knights, will scale off the resource that is the max. So if you put a bunch of points into health, it's going to go off your health instead of your just magic. Grim Focus will only require fort light attacks to activate the Spectral Bow. For Templars, Focus Charge now has no delay after casting it, like the other Gap Closer charges. Because apparently if you cast it and sometimes it just basically you stand there and wait for the next... It had like a global cooldown on it. Rush Ceremony animation will be quicker, so that will allow you to get your heals off a little quicker. Honor the Dead Magic Return will trigger instantly if the target's below 70% health. Lightning Form is going to have a Stamina Morph. Mage's Fury, they increase the damage by 10%. Now, they did mention that crit surge and power surge will be more like rally, which would be a really good change. If they do that, that'll be awesome. Flying Blade will give major brutality, which increase weapon damage by 20%. And that's awesome because that's part of the reason why you couldn't run dual wield is because you didn't get that 20% damage bonus. Now the heal is another thing, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. Volley will have a longer duration, which is awesome. Now these are just some of the changes. They said they will talk about it in 2 weeks when they have their next ZOS. They'll do some more changes, which I'll make another video when that happens. Mundus Stone changes. They're going to take away the health regen, Mundus Stone, and give you stamina regen instead. Now, for those of you who said that Robust isn't that good, ZOS themselves said there's like 5 people that have the health Mundus Stone, and they probably just forgot they had it. Okay, so I don't understand why they realized that but won't change the Robust passive. Okay, unless they make health regen viable, then the Robust passive is by far the worst passive in the game. Not even close. I'd rather have swimming speed. Taunts, that's another thing. Taunt immunity will only apply to monsters which are affected by multiple players' taunts. So that way you can spam one taunt on an enemy and there's no 3 taunts and he's de-aggroed. So that'll help. They are fixing Nirnhoned, supposedly. So that way, because right now Nirnhoned, if I have one piece of gear on and it says I get it by, I think it's 24% in Legendary, it increases all of my spell resistance by 24% for each piece of gear that I have on. So now it's going to be properly scaling just specifically for that piece of armor. Okay. Let's make sure I didn't forget anything. No. Looks like it. I'm just making sure I didn't forget anything. But alright guys, overall my thoughts on what they've had to say about Update 7. VR16, hate it. Can't stand it. I don't know many people that like it. I don't know many people that can tolerate it. Racial changes. Some are good, some are bad. I do like what they're doing with the dodge roll, even though that's one of my favorite builds. I do like what they're doing with the shields. I mean, not the shields, but the streak. Because you can spam it all day, every day. And you guys know that I play my Sorcerer and my Nightblade. Those are the 2 classes that I pretty much play. I love my Dragon Knight, but he just hasn't been good. They buffed Dragon Knights, which is amazing. Supposedly they're fixing Shadow Cloak, which I love. Oh, I forgot to say. The health regen Mundus Stone will now be stamina regen. Oh, thankfully. Finally they have a stamina Mundus Stone that gives, or stamina regen Mundus Stone. I don't know if I'm going to get the stamina regen or I'm going to keep the tower on my Bosmer, but I would definitely take the stamina regen one on my Imperial. Okay? But overall, Nirnhoned trait, love, taunt, the new taunting, love. Oh, block casting is one thing I forgot. There's a major change to reduce block casting. When you are blocking, you will no longer have any... Oh, okay, then never mind. That's good. Stamina regen. So, that I love. People are going to be like, oh no, but you'll be fine, trust me. Everybody tends to overreact. And when I come back at this video in 7 months, I will probably say, man, did I overreact? I hope I say that. But I don't think I am. Alright guys, tell me what you think. If you're just going to troll, I don't care, because I'm not going to respond to you. But if you have a legitimate comment, and you do it in a non-trolling way, I will most likely respond to you. I will take good or bad comments. Doesn't matter. I enjoy hearing what you guys have to say. Alright guys, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to me, Trust me, this is one of my down videos. Most of my videos are upbeat and showing builds and that kind of thing. Stuff that I love to do in this game. But go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you in Tamriel.